Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
Welcome to episode 602 of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I'm David Rhodes, your host, and we have Jeffery Johnson. We might have some other folks to make an appearance during the show as well. How you doing, Jeff?
Man, I'm here, man. It's that holiday season, man, so no complaints, bro.
You finished shopping yet?
I haven't even started, to be honest.
You sound like me. The only folks that gotten shopping done, I've gotten shopping done is the kids, because you know Black Friday, my kids out here asking for all these electronics and all the other stuff, so I got to take advantage of these sales when it's time.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Because they don't ask for simple things, you know.
No, they don't.
One day they'll ask for socks, and I'll be thrilled.
Yo, I guess when they get to the age, even when they stop asking for electronics, they'll start asking for them shoes. And
that's still cheaper than a PlayStation 5.
What? Like, this is my thing. Well, I'm sure both of our kids are scholars, but
I mean, my daughter's a scholar. There's no question. She, my son's 10, so he, I ain't gonna kill him with the grades quite yet. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on with regards to that.
But I work in the education field, man. I'm seeing kids can't read with PS5s, man, and iPhone Super Maxes and what all that. So
the funny thing for me though is like gaming now. And I still play. So gaming now is so different from gaming then. Like I was explaining one time to my daughter, I'm like, man, when I used to play a game, I didn't have save states. Like I couldn't just save it. I had to go. Like and there was no mercy. Like a lot of these games, like you had 3 shots, you didn't get it, you got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
It was a different type of era back then.
No, Ninja Gaiden, Super Mario.
Yeah, man. Like you had to put the
unforgiving.
Yeah, I it's funny. I posted a video of me beating Punch Out.
No, you didn't.
Start to finish about a few weeks ago.
Start to
finish.
I don't think I ever got past Soda Popinski.
He was. I worked him. The only person I struggled with was Tyson. I had to keep repeating against Tyson. All right, let me read through the intro real fast. Welcome to episode 602 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCUs, athletic programs, and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, David L. Rhodes, and this is Jeffery Johnson. We're filming live from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, Rob Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. So, yeah, man, it's I'm gonna wait till Jeff gets back here, but
I'm just trying to. This is the first time I can't use my office when my son got it, so I got to use my little layer down here in my basement. But it is what it is. Trying.
All right. Outside of the topics, because we got a couple topics for you guys tonight. Outside of the main 3 topics we're going to talk about tonight, and just for those who don't know, we're going to talk about the Celebration Bowl recap. We're going to talk about Band of the Year. We're going to talk about the CAA released their schedule. We're going to talk about Michael Vick going to Norfolk State, because we got some Hamptonians in here, so it would be a nice discussion point when it comes to that. So, outside of those things, any news that piqued your interest so far?
No. I mean, I think this is the part of the year, pretty much the recap part of the year. So everything's pretty much in front of us. So no.
Now, for me, I will say I want to give a shout out to Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Shout out.
I didn't want to go there, but go ahead.
No. Because the thing is, it's very important. It's very important because I shout out to him for winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm shouting Travis Hunter out is because he is the first player to ever play FCS to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
And he did play his FCS ball at an HBCU.
Yeah.
Which was Jackson State. So shout out to Travis Hunter for winning the Heisman. It was a close vote.
Yeah.
But he absolutely deserved the Heisman. I talked about it on my show that I covered the Carolina Panthers as well.
Sure.
We had a conversation about it because, a lot of folks talking about our team potentially drafting him. But overall, shout out to Travis Hunter, well deserved. He earned it. Shout out to Deion Sanders as well, because he's absolutely doing what he had to do from that regard. But yeah, man. So let's talk about the band of the year. I was in Atlanta this weekend, so I got to enjoy the festivities.
How did you join Atlanta? How'd you enjoy it?
Oh no, I always enjoy when I go to Atlanta, man.
Yeah.
I always enjoy it when I go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was cool. I was a little on the weather a little bit, but overall, it was a pretty good trip. Can't complain.
Okay, so was it FAMU band of the year?
It was
March 100.
Division One. It was the March. It was FAMU versus Blue and Gold Marching Machine.
Yeah.
So March 100 versus Blue and Gold Marching Machine.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it was very close, but FAMU did pull it out. So
yeah.
Shout out to FAMU for getting the victory.
Yeah.
I know there was some folks that thought that A&T should have won, but for me, I tend to be I watch a lot, and I saw things that maybe the casual eye wouldn't have seen, where I could understand how FAMU got it over.
Yeah.
But shout out to both institutions. They had a phenomenal season.
Yeah.
But the one that hit home for me was Miles College. Miles College ended up winning the band of the year against Tennessee State, and it was super emotional after Miles College pulled it off, because the band director was saying, we don't even have a band room, and so to put in that work and to get that done, I know Miles College was. I mean, there was a level of excitement of them pulling that off. Considering the football season they also had as well, that was outstanding to watch.
Now, Miles, I would say their program is a rising star program. Their band, I would say, for the past 10 years have been pretty, I would say, an ascending band. And, I would say that win was pretty much the culmination of all that hard work. And I've had friends who actually coached at Miles. And I just feel like Miles, their time is due, and I'm definitely proud of them. Now, I would say, as for the first one, where they're between the Blue and Gold Machine and the Marching 100, I grew up in Atlanta, and I've seen the Marching 100 so many times. So it's like I know what I'm going to get with them. So it's like they rarely don't really go too far out of the box when it comes to FAMU. That's why, really. That's why I really love A&T's the Blue and Gold Machine. So
FAMU has their formula, and they absolutely did their formula.
Yeah.
And it was funny. There was some folks in the crowd that was like, they just did that show 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
But it was a clean show, so I can never be mad at that.
I give them the credit. They when it comes to precision, yes, got it. Fast march precision, absolutely. They're not a loud band like just a Jackson State or a Southern, where you just feel like it's not really in tune. It's just
they're
sonically
clear. Their musicality is top notch.
The music, you can hear the flutes and FAMU.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear the clarinets. You can hear the saxophones, the woodwinds. So that's what I appreciate more about FAMU as compared to many of the SWAC style bands. But I was really rooting for A&T in this one, because I felt like A&T has always played the underdog to a lot of either the bigger name programs, whether it's Florida A&M, Southern, Jackson State. I feel like A&T it should be up there with them.
And they have been. I mean, they won band of the year last year. They got back there this year. So I mean, they got nothing to be ashamed of.
They did, they win band of the year. That's like their little certification. Whereas I kind of feel like for us, it's like I want them in that top, maybe top tier.
No, I think they are. I think they are. I mean, I know that, because they're not a SWAC band. I know, they're gonna think what they're gonna think with regards to their bands, and it's not to discredit how good Southern and Jackson State are, because they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal bands. There's no question about it. But I think A&T's up there with them. And when they go to battle the bands and they go to back and forth with those guys, they know they're up there with them. I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
Like
totally
February,
agree.
like they're doing the battle of the bands out in February in Las Vegas. So absolutely.
Totally agree.
Of course, this show is live.
What? Are you
I mean,
kidding
some
me?
people, some people tape, but I don't. I prefer live format.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course it's live. And I'm checking out the comments. And one thing I'll say shout out to the ladies of Norfolk State. They took it to us on Sunday. I couldn't go to the game because I had to fly back home early. But they did take it to us on Sunday. We didn't lead the entire game.
Yeah.
The ladies have been struggling with turnovers.
Yeah.
Pretty much the bulk of the year. They've only won 2 games so far.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried yet. I think I'm more concerned about making sure they have that third scoring option. I think that's a bigger concern for me because even though we had so many turnovers in that game, I think we only had 1 less turnover than Norfolk State.
No,
so
I'm
I'm not concerned yet. But one thing I will say to the MEAC,
the
MEAC, it's gonna be a long season for y'all. It's gonna be a long season for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I think Coppin might give them some trouble. Coppin's legit. They got a pretty good team. Howard's got a pretty good team, but like the rest of you guys, the rest of you guys in the MEAC, long season for y'all.
No, it's gonna be I would say like this. They have they have a robust machine that just constantly churns out quality players. So, I am kind of shocked that they gave you guys weren't that competitive when it came to Corbett, though. So
the students weren't there, but they still had a pretty good crowd considering that, right? The students were gone already at that point. But it ultimately boils down to the biggest thing I've been concerned with so far in out of conference play with the ladies was the turnovers. We've had I think the past few games we've hit over 20 turnovers a game. Yeah. So it's like we have to fix the turnovers, and we have to get that third scoring option. Like I think Dorsey and Locke are the scoring options right now. We got to have a third person to be able to be able to make sure we win.
I've watched your team play. I don't know where that third scoring option is going to come from.
Oh, nah, Asia James, man, she showed me something. She came off the bench. She did pretty well off the bench. Asia James showed me something. So okay. And the thing, Bacone is a scorer too, but Bacone primarily focuses on defense. Like they put because she did a really good job against Diamond. Yeah. Diamond didn't have her typical Diamond game.
Yeah.
It's just everybody else killed them from that standpoint.
It's just like if you can convert that defense in the offense, then we're saying something. But
and that's what they typically do. Yeah. So I'm not panicking yet, but it's just the turnovers is going to be the thing to be concerned about. But they made Norfolk turn the ball over a lot too. Norfolk got over 20 turnovers as well. So but you gotta hit your free throws. You gotta take advantage of it when you have it. And I don't think they did that enough in that game, and it showed. I mean, I think every single time we got it within 5, they got it within 5.
Yeah.
Norfolk expanded the lead.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So Norfolk's legit, man. I said it before the game. They were the best ladies team in HBCU sports, and I didn't think it was close.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. So we're gonna take this break. When we return, we'll talk about the game. We'll talk about Jackson and South Carolina State.
Yeah.
And then we'll start talking about this brand new head coach we got out in Virginia. All right. So we'll be back right after this break.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Morehouse College and Tuskegee University men's basketball teams were selected to compete in the 2025 NBA HBCU Classic presented by AT&T. The fourth annual NBA HBCU Classic will be played in the Bay Area as part of NBA All-Star 2025 and will once again celebrate the rich traditions, on-court athleticism, and commitment to excellence of the HBCU community. For tickets, visit nba.com/all-star.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to episode 602 of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast. All right, man. Did you watch the game? I was at the game. I know it wasn't too much to watch after a certain point of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually at a chapter meeting, but they had it on the wall. And I literally, like, one of the brothers was a South Carolina graduate. And he was like, man, I don't care. We're going to have it on the wall. We watched the whole game from the meeting. And my first thought about the game was that it seemed that it was too big for South Carolina State. You know, it's like there was a big coaching difference between Buddy Pugh and Chennis Berry, you know, when it comes to big games. And I just felt like for the vaunted South Carolina State offense that the game was too big for them. You know, this was nothing new for Jackson State, even though I would say the South Carolina State's defense held them in the game for the majority of the part, but South Carolina State their offense just looked like confused. So, and we had this big conversation about South Carolina State or MEAC power with the offensive and defensive lines. And then when I looked at Jackson State's O-line and defensive lines, I was like,
boys are physical, buddy.
Those SWAT guys finally got the message. They got the message.
It's not the same swag that that's been discussed over. That Jackson State came to play, and for me it boiled down to when we were having there's always this debate about the MEAC got the advantage because of rest, and I would argue this is one of those moments where the rest didn't help.
Nope.
They look like a South Carolina State looked they looked flat out there.
Yeah.
And they look like a team that didn't play for 3 weeks.
Yep.
So and they have an offense, they have a timing offense. And Eric Phoenix didn't look himself, man. But Jackson State, when they did that, when that 19-play touchdown drive occurred, at the end of the drive, I was sitting over on the SWAC side. I was sitting with a bunch of Jackson State folks, and as soon as that drive ended, the first thing I said was, "This game's over, guys."
Yeah,
this game's over.
Yeah,
I was like, "You 19-play drive, defense is spit."
Yeah,
spit.
Yeah.
Like this, I was like, "This is it."
Yeah,
and then it was at that point. From my perspective, it wasn't close. I never thought for 1 second that they had a chance. And
no, absolutely.
And we got Mr. King, so it's good timing for Mr. King to make an appearance. Brandon, how you doing, my man?
Pretty good. How's it going? Good service.
Doing all right. So we're talking about the game. So how you felt, man? It was you picked Jackson State, didn't you?
I thought I picked South Carolina State.
Somebody picked Jackson in the panel last week. It wasn't me. I took all the crow yesterday on the Cavil show, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I deserved it.
Yeah.
You know, but nah, man. I just thought they got manhandled that whole game, man. I thought it was dominant in the trenches from Jackson State side of the view. I thought it's hard to do a full segment on this because I just thought it was pretty dominant. I was just shocked of how dominant it was.
Yeah.
That was surprising for me, and kind of like I said in the chat, man, they got whipped at the point of attack all afternoon long. And I think the other thing that surprised me, and Jay Walker pointed out, is just how free the Jackson State receivers were able to just run down the field. They was able to get behind South Carolina State defenders, which was really, really surprising to see. From that standpoint, they really kind of had their way and was able to do really, what they wanted to do out there.
Yeah. Do you think that this could be the precursor for many other SWAC programs? With
I think the SWAC had, on HBCU Nightly on Sunday, we were having a debate on how far away Jackson State is compared to everybody else in the SWAC, and I said they're and I'll say here as well, they are leaps of bounds ahead of pretty much everybody in the SWAC, with the exception of maybe one institution. And that one institution is Alabama State. But the problem with Alabama State is, well, they might have a quarterback. I mean, body ain't hit the portal. So the thing for them is fixing the offense.
Yeah.
Offensively, they're ready.
Yeah.
I think folks are saying, well, what about FAMU? And I'm like, I think FAMU's going the wrong way, right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe things will change, but what I'm seeing so far right now, I think they're going the wrong way. So I think Alabama State, and I know it's early to make these type of takes, but I'm a take king. I like making takes. So and things could change depending on the coaching hires and things of that sort. Things can easily change pretty quickly.
True.
Right now, I think it's Jackson State.
Yeah.
Alabama State's around here, and everybody out here fighting for anything else they can get.
Yeah, and the third, it'll probably hover around the Southern Prairie View, FAMUs of the world.
Yeah. Like I think that's how there's a significant gap.
Yeah.
Between Jackson State and everybody else in that conference.
Yeah.
It would not stun me if they're back there next year and they potentially repeat. Would not stun me one bit.
Now, let me ask you something. What was the vibe like, the crowd like there? Because on TV, it looked kind of like. I
mean, they had over 36,000 people there, which is higher than any other time higher than any other time before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I mean, the crowd was good. I mean, I was on the Jackson State side, so the crowd was great on mine. I wasn't. They one thing you got to give the Tigers credit for, and the Tiger fan base and the alums, they support their school, win, lose, draw. They support their squad.
I mean,
so they were there.
Jackson, Mississippi. So
But they were there. They were there, and the South Carolina State had a good contingency there too as well.
South Carolina State Central are the ones from the MEAC that would draw consistently. Possibly Howard, because they have a strong alumni base in Atlanta.
What about Norfolk State?
They got Vic. That's a good segue.
I'm the master of the segues now. You know.
You know what? No, Norfolk State. They can't make it down there. They can't. It's not enough for them to get to Atlanta. So. Don't get your hate out the heart, man. I understand. All right, hold on. Let me say this for Norfolk State fans. There's not enough 2-story motels for you in Atlanta to stay in. So, I mean,
oh, come on, man.
So you'll probably have to go out to Dalton, Georgia, or probably Winder. But for real.
But all seriousness. So shout out to Norfolk State for getting it done and getting Michael Vick signed as the head football coach. I think that's going to be an injection to that program that's very well needed. Vic wants to be there.
Yeah,
he's getting to go home.
Yeah.
So I think this is a perfect fit. I know he hasn't coached before.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's what staffs are for.
Yeah. You know what? I would say that he probably might not. Nobody has the gravitas of Dion, but
he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. It's like he's a native of Newport News, which is right around the corner. He went to Warwick High School, and if you recall, during those times it was about Ronald Curry, but then there was another guy, Mike Vick, and he surpassed Ronald Curry, and Allen Iverson, Tyrod Taylor. These are all big names within that community. When I was at Hampton, I saw Michael Vick all the time. His wife was in my class. They were dating at the time. But, what he has done post-career has been, I would say, remarkable. And, I'm proud to see that this brother gets a shot to bring I would say, more coverage to the 757. Keep some of these kids, in the Tidewater.
And look, man, and the thing is, I know A&T recruits there pretty heavily, and I know there's other HBCUs that recruit there pretty heavily too. And I think that is about to end, ladies and gentlemen. We better find another place to invade.
Yeah.
You know what? The moment it was announced that he was taking the head coaching job, immediately the cachet of athletes that this program can now introduce themselves to with their chest out has increased exponentially.
Man, my concern is, are they going to drop the bag? This is Norfolk State. I mean,
I'm going to be honest, man. I think because the thing for me, I remember when the Sacramento State news broke, and I said,
he ain't going there,
man.
No.
He ain't going there.
No.
And the thing for me, it ultimately boils down to, boy, man, we got some good time with the appearances, man.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
We talking about the other school.
Wait, the one across the water?
Yeah.
They're gonna mess that up.
Of course. You know what? They're gonna mess it up. Man, it's like you know what he's looking for down there. You know what he's looking for.
What are you looking for?
He's looking for some dogs.
How you gonna find some dogs?
He's looking for some dogs.
He ain't gonna listen. Let me tell you something right now. He ain't gonna have no problem finding them. I can promise you that.
True.
They're gonna all be there. Let me tell you right now. He gonna listen, man. He ain't gonna have no problem with that whatsoever, because he's gonna have a line of players that want to play for him.
Yeah, you know what? I'm hating a little bit. I'm hating.
I know you are. I know you are.
He can't be look, I love Vic, but the conservative nature of Hampton would not allow it. Heck no.
No, we ain't got the guts to pull off something like that.
Absolutely not. No, and it's not the athletic administration. It's just the entire. They would not.
Yeah. I mean, y'all got new leadership there, man. Things might adjust. There might be more risk to take, but I think for Norfolk State, considering that they've only won the last MEAC title, the last football title they've won that counted was in 1984. I was 2.
Yeah, they didn't even count the Pete Adrian title.
Oh, the 2011 one. They vacated the MEAC title they got in 2011 was vacated. Dang. So outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Wrong.
So
you know what's funny? Did you see what happened to Hampton today?
No, I don't want to. I was trying to. If you want to talk about it, we could talk about it.
Go ahead.
It was just funny. They said we had to vacate a bunch of wins, but we ain't win nothing. So I ain't know we vacated.
Exactly.
Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Vacated 2 in 10 seasons.
Them Howard. Let me tell you something. Them Howard folks would love to take those football wins back. Let me tell you something right now. Shoot, A&T might be love to take them wins back. We ain't get too much of those either.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Nah, but I saw that article about that, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. It was a lot.
Everybody involved with that is gone.
Everybody. Yeah, I know.
Top to bottom. I don't even think the janitor's still there. Like everybody.
The janitor. Nah, but back to Norfolk State getting Vic, man. I think it's big for the area, big for the institution. I'm thinking they're gonna. I think we'll see. I'm hoping that they looked. I think there's no shame to reach out to folks at JSU to see how they handle certain things, because they've been through this before. Yeah. And there's no offense to Eddie George, but I think that scenario is a little bit different, because Vic was like, Eddie George was a superstar, but like he was more of a reserve superstar from the standpoint as a vocalist versus a Vic and a Dion. And I think the thing about Vic at the time, he helped revolutionize the quarterback position during that period.
True.
Like there was others before him, obviously. I'm not trying to discredit like your Randall Cunninghams and things of that sort, but I think during the time in the early 2000s, that was something, everybody remember Madden 04 with Vic on the cover, Yeah.
That was a play, the playmaker version.
Yeah, so like you knew what it was when Vic was there. He had a phenomenal NFL career. Yeah, I know you had the dog joke earlier, but he even turned that around after he did what he had to do and come back out.
Yeah.
And he balled for the Eagles for a period of time as well, and he had a phenomenal NFL career.
And remember, I'm from Atlanta, so I was there when he was there. So
yeah, like I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, so I don't like those Falcons that too much, but I respect the Vic and what he did, so I can't be mad at him too much from that regard. But I'm happy for Norfolk for getting this done.
Yeah,
and I know it's gonna be fascinating. It's gonna make the MEAC fascinating. So before
do
we
do you see that question from Black up there?
Which one?
Do you
do you like the
yeah.
I think that's a great question. Do you like the idea? Do you all like the idea of name over experience? I will say this, man. From my perspective, I think it depends on the particular program. Like there's some programs that has tried more than you realize. Like Dawson Odoms was a good coach.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get it done, you know. And there's probably a multitude of reasons of why that couldn't occur.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're talking about a school that has only had 5 winning records since they've gone Division I.
Yeah.
All right. So since 1997, they've only had 5 winning records. The one MEAC title they won was vacated. And the last football title they won was when they were in the CIAA, and that was in 1984, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So when you take all those things into account, this is a low, and I said this on Dr. Cavil shows last night. This is a low risk move by Norfolk State.
Yeah,
low risk move, a super low risk move.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
because they've already tried to bring guys in with experience, and it has not worked out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hell, you took one of our coaches, didn't work. You took Odoms, didn't work. My concern is will he come in there and see how threadbare the facilities are, or whatever the resources there is, and he'll just say, listen, I mean, this is not sustainable. So, I mean, that's my concern, is that, he brings all these recruits in, and the recruits start looking around, and they're just like, this ain't going to work. Will money flow in? I mean, you have the name with Vic, but will the resources and the income come in to, I would say, buttress and kind of build up what he thinks he can have?
I think it's going to be fascinating how this goes because of the appeal of it. You'll probably have folks going to Norfolk State games off that alone.
I mean, ticket sales ain't going to do too much. Norfolk State ain't known for having money.
But ticket sales turns the buzz. Yeah. And that's where the administration's got to leverage that advantage from that standpoint. Get a social media team, Norfolk. I'm telling you right now.
They used to be good at that.
They used to. And they love.
Nah, but they got, if they like up the squad, like up the squad, get that. They should have a doc on Vic, bro. Like they should
clean up. They got to clean up first.
They got to do what they got to do right now and make it happen, man. Because you got to take advantage. Like it works both ways. So I think that's going to be the big thing. I don't know the status of their facilities like that. I know they got the largest stadium in the conference. I know that.
They have good framework.
Yeah.
They have, they just need to fill it out some more. Eccles is nice.
Yeah.
Dick Terry, they got News Forward. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, no, they have the stuff there. They just don't have, I would say, the income to, keep it moving. So
well, I think that's going to change, man. I think we're going to have, I think a lot of things are going to shift a little bit. So the question I have before we go to break, that's the way I want to say this. What is the expectation regarding the first year of the Michael Vick experience in Norfolk State?
Survive.
It should be low. Yes, it should be extremely low.
I mean, they didn't even place last in the conference. Truth be told, they placed higher than Howard, believe it or not.
That ain't hard.
That ain't hard.
Man. Come on, man. Yeah. Howard gave up, man. He stopped playing, man.
They had a kid at quarterback. Remember Pootie? Pootie. They had a kid named Pootie at quarterback. Not even supposed to be in the school, but that's all.
They didn't. The Norfolk, they're not good. They weren't a good team. But I think if I would have very low expectations unless he goes and hits that portal hard,
which is possible. I mean, I just saw that Caden High from South Carolina State just jumped into the portal.
Oh, we'll take him.
Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of people will take him. That's my point. So, like, but the thing is, the life of college football nowadays. You talk about the portal, things can change in an instant. It doesn't take much.
Dave, that's why I want to talk about your new coach. Did y'all talk about that yet?
Not yet, but we can after the break.
Okay, I watched that press conference, man.
Yeah, we'll head it. We need to take another break right now, so we'll be right back. When we come back, we'll talk about the presser. And then we'll talk about some CAA scheduling too.
All right.
So we'll be back after the break. This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Yeah. This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to episode 602 of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. So yeah, man, the press conference for Coach Sean Gibbs showed up today. It was a pretty good press conference. You know, they had the pomp and circumstance. A lot of old A&T players came back for it. I saw that Tiffany Dawn Sykes was there as well. So shout out to her. So what are your thoughts, Rick? You wanted to talk about it. So what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I had a couple issues, but one in particular, maybe it's just coach speak, but he said that someone asked him how he's going to rebuild the program, and he said he wasn't going to use the transfer portal to rebuild.
Oh, we've heard that before.
And you want to know what the funny thing about that is?
What's that?
We've already gotten a few transfers in.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So maybe it's just talk, man. Like you cannot have a football program like that.
A lot of the Broadway guys, they feel the same way, but you utilize the portal for when you have certain needs that you definitely need to use it for. He's going to utilize the portal. He already utilized the portal. We've had 3 offensive linemen that's committed so far, and we've had a couple edge rushers that came through the portal as well.
Okay, good news.
He's already
okay.
He's already rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah.
They had a big recruitment event last weekend right after it was announced he was going to be the head coach.
You can't win, right? It's like you can't even win by building your own roster because they leave. So they're going to leave after a year or two. If you build somebody up, they're going to leave. So you got to augment through the portal.
Yeah,
through the portal.
And like I said prior to the break, yeah, Caden Hodges went to the portal. Like I think I always say, man, like you gotta the new era of college football. You pretty much are recruiting your guys 24/7 at this rate because anybody can go in. Anybody can go in. Anybody can get it.
Yeah,
It's
it's going to
not
be
so
an
much
interesting
recruiting
spring.
nowadays. It's reloading every year.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to get frustrating and just exhausting.
You think Nick Saban decided to step down just because? You think that
I would too.
I think that played a big role in it.
I would too.
You
Like,
know what? It happened here too. So just like
Yeah.
Roy Williams and the other guy,
Mm-hmm.
the portal was part of it, but the other part was they didn't want to have to compete with the other guys getting paid, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a star point guard at Duke, back in the day, 5 years ago, if Coach K says you got practice, you got practice. But if you got the NIL deal says, I'm getting paid $100,000 to go do this interview, you're gonna have to shift around practice and everything. Like, so they don't want to deal with any of that. They want their guys completely, totally focused on ball, and they can't deal with that. They used to be in a general, getting all the attention.
Yeah. You know, I think it was last year. It might have been at MEAC Media Day or one of their basketball media calls. Coach Moulton talked about that. And, you know, we see it particularly at the HBCU level because you think about if the best of the best teams are dealing with it, then it hits us doubly as hard. But basically what he was saying is that, you know, you bring guys in that maybe, you know, didn't get the looks from the other guys, the diamonds in the rough, if you will. You know, you develop them, they become major players and contributors to your program, and you know they start to get some shine. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's when the other programs come around with the "Hey, big head" messages, and the next thing you know, you're losing your players. You know that you did the work and developed into these bigger programs. And I mean the portal, but like I said, it's a 24-hour, 365 thing of recruiting, and the days of, you know, you getting a guy to come to play for State U for 3 or 4 years, those days was over.
Yeah. It's like you can't even shield your players when you play a bigger name programs, you know.
And the big thing that folks got to realize, it don't matter if you're good or bad.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing players from good teams hopping in the portal. We're seeing players like A&T had a bunch of folks hopping to the portal. Won 2 games and one Division I game in 2 years. We got folks hopping in the portal.
Where are they gonna go? Who's gonna?
I'll give you an example. So Brock Stoops, who was in our program for 2 years since Brown got there.
Yeah,
he committed to North Carolina State today.
What?
North Carolina State.
What does he play? What position?
Offensive lineman.
What?
But the thing is, the one thing that A&T never has an issue with is offensive lineman.
Because I want to see how he
Coach Mattis is always there. He's been the constant. Coach Mattis has been there since the Broadway era.
What happens if he doesn't start? You know,
he's going to get paid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We had one kid in basketball got committed to North Carolina State, and he pretty much was he was on the bench the whole time. Got to go to the Final Four on the bench
with a check. Okay.
What can you do?
Yeah.
But now, so what else did you notice within the press conference, Reed?
Yeah, that was it. I think there's a lot of Aggie pride. It seems like Aggies are happy. But yeah, just that thing about how he was recruiting was happy. But he seems like an Aggie. So, you know,
even though he went to the other school down the road.
Yeah.
But his first coaching opportunity happened under Bill Hayes at A&T.
Yeah, he's gotta figure out, he's gotta really get some good staff members because you know, it is a leap. Yeah, you going from the Division II head coach to CAA. That's a leap.
Yeah. From the SIAC to the CAA.
That's a leap. I don't care. And he knows his X's and O's, he knows all that, but it is a leap.
That's
so
Horizon
he needs
League
to get
to
some
the
good
Big 12 or
good staff to help him. But I think y'all can do okay with him.
Is he going to bring the SIAC staff that he had at Fort Valley?
I don't think from what I understand, I don't think everybody's going to go. Everybody's going to come over. I think there'll probably be a few folks, but I don't think it's going to be the whole group. But we don't know. He's not ready to announce his staff yet. I mean, there's probably a couple that you can probably guess on. I think maybe like I could see him bringing Denzel Jones with him. Ron Mattis and Nate Poole, who was on Coach Brown's staff, who also was on Washington staff and Broadway staff. are still going to be on the staff. They were retained.
Oh, okay.
And the tight ends coach, Stephen Barnett, he was retained as well. So those three, those three position coaches were retained
because they all work together.
Yeah, I believe. I didn't check to see the ties with Barnett, but I know for a fact that Madison Poole definitely worked together with him. Yeah. Like Madison Poole survived when Sam got let go too.
Yeah,
so they're a constant. They're the constant.
Yeah,
there was somebody who asked a good question. There was an alumni. He was pretty aggressive, but he was saying
that's the uncle. We call him the uncle.
Okay, all right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
How are we going to compete with the smallest budget in the CAA? And he said, well, yeah, HBCUs are going to make do with less. That's what we do. I had that was interesting. But
he made it a yes or no question. He's like, are you concerned? Is it going to help give you a problem with competing? He said, nope. So they're gonna make it work. They're working to get. It's not like they're not working to try to get the resources. They did a nice little infomercial.
Yeah.
With regarding giving to the AAF, and Tariq Cohen announced during one of the interviews he had that he gave $10,000 to the AAF at the pressure. So now, I mean, if folks are going to start giving back and things of that sort, a lot of folks wanted this previous coach gone. You got their wish, and now he's not here. Now we got a new coach, and so we're going to see if the dollars show up. I'm not worried about the season tickets. We'll get into the schedule. We'll probably take one quick break, and we're going to take one more break, and this will be a short break, and then we'll hop into the schedule and we'll talk about the CAA schedule, because the CAA schedule was released today. So we got some interesting HBCU matches, man. We got some pretty good matches around the pipe across the board. We got a couple.
We need wins, man. We don't need big games no more, man.
Nah. Look, I'm never gonna say no to a big game, but we're gonna go ahead and have this lab. We're gonna take this. This is gonna be a quick commercial break, but so we will be back. This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Morehouse College and Tuskegee University men's basketball teams were selected to compete in the 2025 NBA HBCU Classic presented by AT&T. The fourth annual NBA HBCU Classic will be played in the Bay Area as part of NBA All-Star 2025 and will once again celebrate the rich traditions, on-court athleticism, and commitment to excellence of the HBCU community. For tickets, visit nba.com/all-star.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to episode 602 of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. And now, man, look, I'm about to pull up this schedule. We about to talk about this schedule. Give me 1 second. There it is. Can you guys like listen? I know this is a lot for a lot of folks, particularly in the chat, but I felt like we really needed to look at this because we got a lot of good matchups here on the list, and there's some interesting ones here. So we got a couple HBCUs in the house playing some other schools. Like we got Delaware State playing UAlbany. And you got a couple other interesting ones on the list as well.
I had a joke about this when I saw it.
So what?
Sorry, man. I had a joke about this when I saw it, man. I was like,
what?
See, this is what happens when you hang out with white folks sometimes. Like the schedule come out in December. Like to me, they come out in May.
They come out when they come out.
No, it don't come out till all the schedule's locked in. And ours is already locked in.
Yeah, I understand.
I know, but you know how it goes sometimes, man. Right. All right, so a couple interesting matchups. So let's start off with Hampton right now, man. Yo, Hampton, man, what's up with y'all out here playing Jackson State to open?
Man,
I'm sure that was probably in the books a while ago, right?
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but I know there was some speculation about whether or not this game was going to be in Chicago. But shout out to Ken Clark from 1400 Club. He pretty much said that it's going to be at Jackson. So
Jackson?
It's going to be at Jackson. Oh. So for the color coders, the light blue makes it an away game. The dark blue is a home game.
All right, so at
Jackson.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I think this is because we did book a home and home a while ago, and I think we ended up. It was, I think it wasn't it like a hurricane or something that canceled the event that Jackson had to come to Hampton or something. Wasn't that a while ago?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
And so this is our return that to Jackson. So
I was hearing about this game was possibly going to be in Chicago, Sonic Boom, but we'll probably just wait and see how it's going to go. But
yeah,
I've gotten both ways about whether or not the game's going to be in Chicago or Jackson, and I trust Ken Clark. Ken Clark said it was in Jackson. I'm rolling with it.
Yeah. It would have been great had it been in Chicago because two strong fan bases, two strong alumni groups. Would have been great for the greater Chicago area. But us playing in Jackson, that's a tough venue to play in. So
yeah, that's a bold game. That's bold for
game.
Hampton to schedule that to go out there.
Yeah,
for
and
that first game.
We're not having our alums ain't coming down there, so
we might. They'll give us that little corner of their stadium. We might be there. I might go for that. We'll see.
Yeah, I've been down to Veterans Memorial, so if push comes to shove, I'll be down there. So.
All right, so a couple other games to note with regards to A&T's playing Tennessee State week 1. We're open. That's the John Mayer Classic. I am going to be there for that. I already booked my hotel. I just got to book the flight. I'm going to be there for that.
I will be there as well.
Yeah, I'll be there for that one. Another one that is intriguing. We got Townsend playing Norfolk State, and they're going to Norfolk State. So the home opener, first game of the Michael Vick experience is going to be against Townsend. So that's going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And I don't know what Morgan State over here doing out here, but Villanova's coming to them.
I don't get that.
To play Morgan.
I don't get
that.
And Morgan's playing two CAA teams back to back. They got Villanova week 1 and they got Townsend week 2.
Villanova's gonna they're just gonna beat them really bad. Now I just didn't want to say what I wanted to say. Townsend, oh God.
Well, they haven't beaten Townsend in a minute. So
yeah, Townsend, that's just a local rivalry. That's sell tickets.
All right, so to get into some other HBCU matchups that are here, that's not us. We got North Carolina, the school down the road. They're going up against New Hampshire. I think that's the other end of the home and home because they already went up to New Hampshire a few years ago. So now New Hampshire's got to come down to Durham.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, University of New Hampshire is also in Durham. Go figure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Out of Durham. So the other ones, of course, like Hampton, you guys are playing Elizabeth City State. Y'all got Howard. Y'all got Norfolk. We got 5 HBCUs on the schedule, man. Can't be mad at that.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be playing Elizabeth City State.
Yeah, last time it was what 88-7, something like that.
I'm looking here. Nobody else really is playing Division II teams in CAA. I mean, that hurts your playoff chances. Like you really don't have much.
That's one. Well, luckily you have 12 games, but so you got the extra game. I mean, that could be part of the reason why that happened, right? But
I would take Virginia Union over Elizabeth City.
No, I'm with you there because they're much stronger. They're a much stronger team within their particular division, so that's fair. Now, as for your schedule from a conference standpoint, you play A&T, you got Elon, Campbell, Villanova, Monmouth, Maine, William & Mary, and Rhode Island.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I might pull up to this Hampton, Rhode Island game though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's near the crib, man. Right?
Yeah, that's near the crib. I'm gonna pull up to that one.
They got that funky little stadium.
No, yeah.
Is it worth coming up there? Is it worth?
I've seen it. No, I've seen it.
So I went when A&T played Rhode Island last year, and one thing I'll say about that stadium, man, I didn't realize that the football stadium was connected to the Ryan Center. So like half of the stands, they have is connected to the Ryan Center. For those who know, the Ryan Center is the basketball arena where the University of Rhode Island plays. So it's So a portion of the stands is connected to the Ryan Center. So there's a setup where you can walk into the Ryan Center and walk through and then get to your seat. So it's pretty cool when it's cold because then you can just walk out and go into the Ryan Center, get you a drink, a beverage. You don't necessarily have to go out there because it tends to be cold. And of course, y'all game is November 22nd.
Yeah.
And Dr. Cavil is also confirming that Hampton game will be in Jackson.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm. Hey, A&T, man, y'all got a tough schedule. I'm looking at it. Y'all got
Hey,
Tennessee State.
so
Y'all
let me.
got Central, South Carolina State.
Yeah,
Your out of conference is rough.
let's have a quick story about that. So we originally were supposed to play Furman on September 13th, and I don't know which side decided they didn't want to have the game anymore.
Yeah.
But that opened up a slot. So I guess they ended up putting a conference game against against Hampton for the 13th, and then we added South Carolina State for GHO because October 11th is GHO.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
so we're gonna play. I'll be honest. The way that the economics of GHO, I'm not the biggest fan of playing HBCU on GHO because it's gonna sell out regardless of who we play. But it's gonna be. But maybe it'll help push more season ticket sales. We'll see. We got.
Hold on. You don't want to play at HBCU on GHO?
I think from a business standpoint, it doesn't make much sense. We sell out the game every year, man.
Oh,
it doesn't,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we play Monmouth, it's gonna sell out. We play Campbell, it's sold out. It doesn't matter who we play, and I think it's more beneficial to play that home game against off that. Like for example, we're playing Hampton September 13th. Y'all not gonna complain about the band not being able to come. They can come now. And that's the other part, and that's the other part too. Like we got the band. The band's not gonna you ain't gonna have that. You're gonna the band, the marching 101 probably won't be able to come. But here's the kicker too: the last time we played South Carolina State, they didn't come.
Yeah.
So
it's South Carolina State. They don't travel.
Yeah. No, they didn't come. But they didn't come for a legitimate reason. They had the opportunity to perform for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, I ain't knocking it, but I just think when we have these conversations, it ain't always a guarantee they're gonna travel anyway. And that's the way that I've always kind of felt about it. But
so we at y'all 2 years in a row.
Yeah, man. Probably because we lost to two teams. And that being said, we play Maine, Monmouth, and Stony Brook this year. Normally we will be playing Villanova, Delaware, and Richmond. I will take that trade.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will take that trade because this schedule and let me give you. I know it's still a tough schedule, but this is light compared to what they've been having the first 2 years in that conference.
Yeah.
Man,
All
this
right,
is
so
cool. Like, look at this. Y'all got a whole bunch of guys who are either in state or border the state. That's a pretty good schedule.
Yeah, but the thing is, we got to fly to New York, and we got to fly to New York, and we got to fly to Maine. We got two charter flights this year. All right.
I got one quick question.
All right. Yeah, because we got to close the show. But yeah, what's your question?
They couldn't find a logo for us on y'all schedule. They just
they only let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, man. If you ain't part of the CAA, you get no logo. Do you notice it's a consistent pattern with the CAA? You get if you ain't in the conference, there's no logo for you. No logo for you. Nothing but text. And you might even get the whole name. You got 10 states. You even get the full name. No, look. I learned real quick that the CAA is petty.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to close out the show. As soon as I get my script up, the CAA is petty, and the reason why, and the crazy thing about the CAA being petty, when Delaware announced that they were leaving the conference, you know what the first thing they did? They made sure they had no games on CBS.
Yep.
So I say all that to say, the CAA is petty.
Yep.
All right. Now let me go ahead and close out the show. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU, to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I'm David L. Rhodes with Jeffery Johnson, Brandon King, and Tariq Wilson. Shout out to Dr. Kiana Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Make sure you all follow us on Twitter. Champ D1012 for myself, Jeffrey Alpha 06 for Jeff Johnson. Go to sneakershop.com for Brandon King. And make sure you check out hupiratorship.com to check out my guys Jeff and Tariq. And make sure you follow Dr. Kiana Cavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook, and Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. We'll talk to you soon. Jeff.
Of course.
Brandon.
Lecture.
Reed.
Dismiss.
Have a good one, guys. See y'all next. Well, we're not gonna see you next week. So happy New Year. Have a happy holidays and happy New Year. We'll definitely probably do a show on July 1st.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
You too, man. Peace.